Welcome to the One Rental to Freedom podcast, creative investing strategies for building wealth and financial freedom through rentals. I'm your host, Chad Harris. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is good to see you as always. Love having everybody on, and glad people are benefiting, or glad you are benefiting from this content and these discussions. And I am on a big kick of one rental to freedom because I see far too many people getting lost, kind of chasing short-term profits and wholesaling and
Mm,
flipping and these deals that don't actually lead to what people get into real estate for, which is wealth and freedom and all the great
mhm.
rewards of real estate. And so our guest today is perfect for this topic because we share that perspective completely and we have very similar business models and things we focus on. So if
Mhm.
you are interested in rentals, if you're interested in buying properties without using any of your own money, if you're interested in building wealth, if you're interested in freedom, this is the
Mhm.
conversation you want to be a part of. So stick around. This is going to be a lot of gold content. So, welcome,
Mhm.
Martine Richardson. Glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on the podcast. I do not take this lightly. I appreciate you allowing me to share with your audience.
Yeah, I we talked a couple of other times and just resonated in how we see the world and how we see real estate. We have very similar perspectives. And
Mhm.
so definitely glad to have you on. Hear more of your story and get some really actionable tips for listeners on how they can move forward with their business. So
Mhm.
your company, The Freedom Inc., right?
That's right.
So you focus on rentals, but share a little bit for us, just, kind of as an intro, so that people understand the context of everything else we'll talk about. How did you get started into real estate? When was that? And then what does your business look like today?
Okay. Well, first, before I start with that, I want to congratulate everyone that is listening to this podcast because not only is Chad very knowledgeable about this subject matter, but you're just a good person. Like, that's why when we talked, we just connected instantly because you're just like a good person. I can tell you're a person of integrity. So, congrats to all of you guys that are listening. I know you're getting a lot out of this podcast, and I'm hoping that I could bring some value to you as well. Now, when I first got started in real estate, it started with a series of unfortunate events.
Nice. All
I
right.
want to be honest. So, I remember going to college. Got my degree in finance. My goal was to start working at an insurance company. But of course, you go to school, you talk to your advisor, they tell you, go get a job. What are you talking about? You're gonna work for insurance? Go get a job. So I said, okay, if you I'll do that. That's what you want me to do. And I started working a job. I worked at Fannie Mae in DC when I first got out of college. And I thought I had worked jobs like in college, before college. Like I've been working since it's legal to work, maybe even before it was legal to work. I was working jobs. And I remember, like, I always thought, once I get my degree, finally I'll get something that I'm passionate about that I love because I used to just stick it through. Like, I'm like, oh, I just need a check. I don't really like the job, but I need a check. I'll just stick it through, you know?
Well, and
So,
yeah, everybody has had one of those jobs at least. And I think far too many people still are in one of those jobs, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. And so I started working at Fannie Mae and I still wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't passionate about the work, any of that stuff. So I guess that showed in my work. I ended up getting fired. And when I got fired, it made me think about, oh, well, maybe I ought to try that insurance thing because that's why I got my degree in finance. So I started doing that. I didn't really enjoy it. And then like I started talking to my dad, and my dad told me that maybe you should get into real estate investing. And nobody in our like circle, family, anybody that we knew were real estate investors. But he was like, "You're smart. You can figure it out." Because the first thing I thought about was, "Well, how am I going to do that? I don't have any money. Don't you need money to do that?" And he's like, "You're smart. You'll figure it out." So he was right. I
What
was smart.
was
I did figure it out.
what was
But
his
go ahead.
attraction to real estate, or why did if he didn't have a background in it, why was that what he suggested? Do you think?
He was renting from a lady, I think, that reminded him of me.
Ah, okay, sure.
Yeah, so he also noticed that I had the entrepreneur like spirit in me because he has it in him as well, but I'm able to see things through a little bit more clearly. So like I'll keep going, going, going for a very long time. I'm really good at being consistent. So he was like, "You'll figure it out." But I didn't. I figured it out, but I didn't figure it out on fortunate circumstance. It wasn't like, "Oh man, I want to start doing real estate. Everything's great in my life." No, it's like I got fired from my job. I had bought a car when I was working at that job. It got repossessed. The next day, I started taking real estate seriously. It's because I had all of this stuff that wasn't working for me, and I was like, "Man, something has to work." And just like from a young child, I don't know, maybe I was wise beyond my years, but I always looked at I want to have freedom, time freedom and money freedom. Like my mom, she had a lot of time, but she didn't have much money. And I was like, it has to be a way, like when I have a family, I can have a lot of time and money. So that kind of attracted me to real estate. And to your point, you mentioned that, people get into it and they start wholesaling and flipping and stuff like that. You're just creating a high paying job. You're not really getting the freedom until you get to the passive aspects of real estate. So since then, I've been able to buy over 100 properties with no money down strategies, and now I help people buy their first rental property with no money down.
Nice. I love it. So, and when did you start? When was that beginning? What year?
I started in 2014.
Okay.
So what's that about 11 years from? Yeah, 11
Yeah.
years.
Perfect.
Been in
I
this
love it.
game for quite some time.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, awesome. So let's dive into kind of the concept and how it works and how you were able to do
Hmm.
it, right?
I
So
love it.
I know you got into the wholesaling side, and
Hmm.
I 100% agree that's just a high-paying job, right? And
Hmm.
if you go to the beach on vacation and kick back and relax, and the money stops while you're on the beach, and eventually you're going to have to go home to make money again. That's not really
Hmm.
freedom, and in no way passive income. So, so rentals are
Right.
the answer for that. What
Hmm.
was your like awakening? How did you all of a sudden think, well, rentals are the answer, even though you were making big checks as a wholesaler?
Yeah, I was making big checks, but I think what really gave me the aha was I got my first rental property by accident. And it was the best accident I've ever made.
Nice.
So I always would go like talk to the sellers, right? And let me just take a step back. So I started with wholesaling because I read a book. It was called How to Quit Your Job in 19 Weeks by Sean Terry. Very specific. But it talked about wholesaling. I had never heard of that concept before. And I was like, wait a second. I can get something under contract and sell the contract. I don't really need the money. I thought that was the only way I could get into real estate investing. Now, maybe I could have been an agent or something like that, but I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to be an investor. So, I would always talk to each seller that was, we're possibly getting something under contract, and I would ask them, "Do you want a cash offer, or would you take payments?" And one time the first time I got a guy that said he'd take the payments. And in my head, I'm thinking, you'll take the payments. Nobody takes the payments. But I asked anyway. Like, all you can tell me is no, I'm not going to die if you say no, you know? So he was like, I'll take the payments. And I was like, okay, well, I'll work on how I'm going to structure that and then I'll get back with you, right? And what I really was saying was, I got to figure out how to do this. Like, nobody ever said they were going to take the payments. So I don't even know how to do that. I went to a meetup. They showed me how to structure the payments. I ended up going into a deal with this guy, right? Where I was making payments to him every month, and then I rented that place out, and I was making cash flow from renting the place out. And my aha moment, you would think that was my aha moment, but that was not the aha moment. The aha moment was when I continued to get checks from work I did a long time ago. When
Oh,
I wholesaled, I only made a check when I worked.
yeah.
If I stopped working, I made no more checks. Once the property was gone, no more checks. I realized if I kept the properties, that's where I could get the freedom because they can keep paying me every single month. So that just drove me down a path where I was like, well, how could I get more of these where people are paying me every single month from something I did a long time ago? And then as I started doing that, I learned about private money. And I'm like, wait a second. You can get stuff under contract and somebody will give you all the money to buy it? Like, what's in it for them? And then I realized it was helping them. Like, you're putting their money in a safe position, but also they're getting great returns backed by real estate. So it's not like you
Yeah.
were coming into a situation where you were begging people for money. Hey, please help me build my rental portfolio. No, you're getting into these deals where you're giving people great returns. Their money is in a safe position because you're buying things at a discount. And they're it's backed by real estate. Like it's win 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 win. It's so many wins in this. So when I figured that out, I was like, oh, say no more. Forget wholesaling. See ya. I am keeping it all.
Nice. That is a big aha moment. There's actually a bunch of aha moments there, right? I mean, the
Mm,
fact that I think for a lot of people, when they talk about, well, a seller will let me pay them over time or make payments for the
mm-hmm,
property, that's kind of an insane notion, right? The seller
mm-hmm,
gives us the house, we give them very little money at first, but we're going
mm-hmm.
to give them a little bit of money every month over time.
Right,
That's kind of a crazy concept. And a lot of people would say, why on earth would a seller do that? But
right.
there's a bunch of benefits to the seller, right? Whether
Mm-hmm,
pay them more, or we're going to defer their taxes, or we're going to buy it as is. And there's a whole bunch of
right.
really good benefits for the seller.
Right.
And
And you also have to think about like some sellers, they bought the property hoping to be a landlord or hoping to make passive income on it. In that particular deal, the guy, he kept getting terrible tenants because he didn't know how to vet the tenants. So what
yeah,
he thought was going to be a passive income from this property was a headache. Every time he put somebody in this bad boy, they'd stop paying him, they ghost him. He's always in eviction court. He was like, this is not what I signed up for. And when I'm offering him payments, and he's like, oh, I think, she's gonna pay me. I don't, and I was telling him, you don't have to worry about any maintenance. Like, I'll buy it as is, blah, blah, blah. He's like, she's speaking my language because I got this property for passive income. And
yeah,
finally, I
yeah.
have arrived at the passive income.
And really, no matter how good a landlord they are, or owner, property
Mm-hmm.
owner, right? Sooner or later, they want out of the management and they don't want to deal with
Right,
tenants. But if they've
right,
been getting those rent payments for 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years, they don't want to live without monthly payments, right?
right,
That's what they've been living on for years and years. They want
right.
monthly payments. So, yeah, that's a huge eye opener for people. Um, and also, yeah, your idea that you do work on the front end and then the money keeps coming in with rentals. I love
Oh
that.
my God, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful
Beautiful
thing.
thing. Yeah. When I started into real estate, I just started into rentals, and a whole bunch of people criticized me and complained and said, "Why are you working so much? Why do you work long hours?" And they didn't understand that every house was just stacking on the next house, right? So
Hmm.
those same people now are like, why do you take so much time off? Why are you always traveling? Because all of those monthly payments just keep stacking up one on the other. It's an
I know
amazing thing.
it's wonderful, and then it brings freedom. People I hear so often, "Hey, why did you, I'll ask you, hey, why do you want to get into real estate?" It's because I want freedom. And they'll say they want freedom, but then they'll start working really hard, chasing all the deals, having deals where they're either selling them or wholesaling them or getting rid of them. And I can understand that if that's how the numbers work on that particular deal, but what you're doing is you're really creating a job. And you said you wanted to get into this for freedom. Maybe they just wanted financial freedom, but it's not really too much freedom if you're always working.
Yeah.
I would prefer to work really hard in the beginning and have true freedom.
That's right.
Have a check that keeps coming every single month from the properties. The properties are appreciating. It's just so many benefits. And it's like the government wants us to be landlords. It's like they they have all
Yeah.
these perks
These
for
tax
us to,
benefits. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be landlords. So why wouldn't you do it if you wanted freedom? Like to me, I always like to think of things from the end in mind. So if I said I want freedom, but my actions are showing I don't really want freedom, do you really want that? Like just think about what you got into this for and just stay true to that. If it doesn't align with your goals, don't do those things. Like for me, I don't flip. That doesn't align with my goals. Why would I be flipping? I want freedom. That's not freedom.
Yeah. Sure. And I think a lot of people, well, most investors I talk to, they get into real estate and kind of their motivation is that freedom and wealth and recurring payments, right? All that's kind of
Hmm.
what everybody's attracted to. But then I
Right.
think once they get into it, they start to have doubts of, well, I don't have very much money. I don't know how to manage a rental. I don't know how to deal with tenants, and it's like overwhelming. And so
Right.
the alternative is we'll just get some quick checks doing wholesaling or flipping or whatever and
Right.
act like we're HGTV stars, right? But
Right.
um so let's walk through some of those like limiting beliefs that people have
Mm.
and how can they get over some of those. So one would be how to find a deal where they're actually talking to the seller. What are some
Hmm.
ways that you have done it or your clients have done it where instead of making an offer on a deal listed with the MLS where everybody in the area can see that deal, you are talking directly to the seller so that
I
it's
love
just
it.
you and the seller figuring out that solution?
I love it. In my 11 years of doing this, I've only bought two properties on the MLS. It used to be one,
Mm.
but I'm about to close on a house on the MLS. It was on the MLS for 10 minutes.
Wow. Nice.
But so you have to figure out what strategy works best for you so you can get direct to seller. So like let me just give you some examples and I'll tell you like what I like to do. So when I first got started in real estate, I did a lot of marketing. So I did like direct mail, I did text blast, cold calling, you name it, I probably did it. And I feel like it's okay to do those things, but it's all cold. It's very cold when you're talking to the people. What I like to do now is referral based. So I'm huge on community. I'm huge on community, and everybody has to be contributing to the community. So, what I like to do and what I teach to the fam, that's the coaching program I have. I I like to teach people how to create a deal source community, and then we also create a private lender community. So we create a community of lenders that are going to lend 100%, and then for the deal sourcing community, we'll do it based on referrals. And you're like, okay, well, how do you do that? I'm glad you asked. So what we do is
You beat me
first we start with good people. Who is in your circle that if you were to send them clients that they feel the need to have to give? Like what I'm saying when I say good people is you don't want a community of takers because it's going to make you feel worn out.
hmm
You're going to keep sending them leads and like basically we're creating communities of people we're all in different professions and we help each other out. So like one of my best deal sources is our mortgage brokers. And it's because people will come to them and they will tell them, "Hey, I'm going through this situation," and they'll see if maybe they can help them out of the situation. But if they can't, they'll present the idea to them. "Hey, I mean, did you consider selling it? Like, if you want to sell it, I know someone that can really help you through this situation and buy it." And that allows me to get directly to the seller. Now, you can do this with realtors or wholesalers, but you're not going to talk directly to the seller, right? I want to talk directly to the seller. I think I'm the best negotiator in my own deal. I don't think you can negotiate it better than me. So I want to get the best possible deal. But I'm not sure if people are familiar with BNI on this call that are listening to the
Go
podcast.
ahead
But
and explain it. Yeah.
yeah. So that's Business Networking International. And basically, that's an organization where you have to give referrals to people, right? Like, there are people, you only can have one profession in each seat in the BNI chapter, and you have to refer each other. Well, I'm not in a BNI, but the community that we set up is like an informal BNI
Okay.
because we all do different things and we all send each other the people that we can help because we know, like, and trust each other. Now, if I refer somebody and they don't do a great job, I might need to find a new person that I can refer to because you're not putting my name on it and you're not doing a good job. And the same upholds for you. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know how to help people through these situations, be solution oriented, because then you can continuously get those referrals.
Sure. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of people on talking about direct mail or other marketing strategies, but I don't know that we've ever had anybody on talking about building community for referrals. So yeah, that's
Man,
awesome.
I
Yeah.
love it. I
So
don't know if anybody that is listening, if they've ever read The Seven Levels of Communication, but it's by Michael J. Mayer. It's up here somewhere, or to be honest, it might be over there. It's like my business Bible. But they talk about how to turn relationships into referrals. And we have a very similar system where we just help each other. And it's like, I don't think people really understand like the laws of like the universe. Like if I were to breathe, right? I'm breathing. Exhale, 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 exhale. If I never inhale, guess what? I die. That doesn't work.
there's no
You
way around that. This is the fact, right?
it's the same with like giving and receiving. If you give, and you're not even giving with the expectation to receive, you're going to start receiving. This is how it works. And it's just, I love doing business this way. It just makes it so fun. It's so personable. When I walk into a house and I'm talking to a seller, they tell me about all the people that cold called them, about all the people that sent the mail, and they're like, I don't want to work with them. My house isn't even for sale, but we're talking about selling their house to me. So it's like having a VIP pass. Like if I'm at one of the amusement parks, I'm not sure exactly where you are, but we have an amusement park here called King's Dominion. If I'm at King's Dominion, right? Do I want to wait in the line to talk to the seller? Or do I want the VIP pass when I can go
Give
all
me
the way
the
to the front?
VIP. Yeah.
Where I can go all the way to the front and they're only talking to me. They already know, like, and trust me because I came from someone they know, like, and trust. And this is the best way to do business, in my opinion.
Sharp. Love it. All right. And okay, one quick question on that follow
Mm-hmm.
up. Most people, or a lot of people, are kind of intimidated by talking to a seller. Like they have to have a
Mm.
script and very specific words to use. And what are most of your conversations like with a seller? Are they high stress? Are they relaxed? What's it like?
No, be a person. You're a person first, right? Like
Nice.
go in the house and see how you can help people. And a lot of the times you have to ask a lot of hard questions. Sometimes, some people won't want to ask some of these questions because they're like, man, that's kind of nosy. No, you're trying to see how you can help them. So, when you go in a house, you build rapport with your seller, what's that? Frog is the acronym they use if you need some help on
Awesome.
building rapport. But like really try to get to know the person and blah blah blah. They already know you're an expert if you're coming from a referral because they wouldn't have referred you if you weren't.
Yeah.
they wouldn't. And just to clarify, guys, you don't have to be doing this for 11 years to be considered an expert. As long as you know what you're doing, you could be referable from day one. So you just have to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. But
And I would even
anyway,
add, even if you aren't quite sure what you're doing, but you're working
mm,
with somebody who does know what they're doing so that you can ask, you have a
right,
reliable source to ask on those issues
right.
that you're learning for the first time. Yes, yeah, you should be
Right.
able to
I
be
would I
confident.
would definitely agree. I have always used people that had way more experience to me is way more experience than me as people in my back pocket when I don't know something, I go
There we
ask them a
go.
question. So
Nice.
for sure. So when I'm going in and I'm talking to the seller, some common questions that you can ask someone is, well, how much do you want for the place? How quick are you looking to go? When I'm asking the hard questions are like, how much do you owe? Are you behind on payments? Are you like when you're really trying to get into the situation of what's going on? What I found is that when I come as a referral, they're a lot more open partly because they already told the other person what's going on and they know they already told me, but I asked them so that they can tell me, even though that I'm a little aware. But yeah, I just like to ask questions to see what is the best solution to help people. And I think if you go in and you go in as, hey, I want to help you guys to get to wherever you're trying to go, then you're starting off on the right foot. So like I'll just give an
Yeah.
example. Let's say it's one deal that we're working on now where it's a lady, she has dementia. Her daughter is helping her sell her property. She has to move into a nursing home facility, and they're trying to just figure everything out. So we're coming up with solutions to help her through that situation. So one solution for them is that she needs the money for the house so that she can move on to her other place. So we're doing a rent back option where she can have a little bit of time so that she can use the money and go on to do what she needs to do. But like I've helped people find places to move. I've set up movers. I've helped people clean out their house. Whatever it is, I have a good community of people. So
Yeah.
I don't have to do all this work. All I do is bring in my referral partner that does clean out and I'm over here looking great because I just have a great community of people that we can just, come up with solutions to help people and then they end up selling us their house.
I love that. I love that your perspective is you're providing solutions. You're there to help the person. And I think that comes across even in the question that you ask, right? So that question, are you behind on payments? You can ask that question as though it's like number 16 on your little sheet. And are you behind on payments? Yes, check. How far behind are you on payments? And it's all for us. Or you can ask that
Right.
question like, I understand things have been difficult lately. Are you behind on your payments? Are you up to date? And you can ask that exact same question from the
Mm-hmm.
perspective of helping them or helping us as the investor. And that comes across.
Right.
And people, I've always found people are amazingly open and transparent if I just am there to help them, right?
Right. And I think a lot of the times we get in our own way because we feel uncomfortable asking something. And I want you to change your perspective on that. Like, for instance, I'll ask people, well, did you find out how much their mortgage is? Or did you find out if they're behind? Or whatever the situation is. And they'll say, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, are you trying to help them? Like, are you
There you
you
go.
want to help the person. So you need to get out of your own way. You need to get out of your comfort zone and ask the hard questions. Because by asking those hard questions, and I mean, I guess you could say getting all up in their business, that is going to allow you to be able to come up with a solution that's really going to help them.
And if that's perfect, good point. And if they seem reluctant to answer the questions, a lot of times you just have to point that out, right? The
Mm-hmm.
reason I'm asking about if you're behind is because we can
Right.
help in this way or that way. And you just have to kind of frame it that the only reason I need to know this information isn't because I'm nosy, it's because I'm looking for a way to help, right? So
Yeah, like you can set up the expectation for sure. You can say, get permission. You can say, "Hey, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. And I'm really just asking these questions so I can see what's the best solution for you. Are you okay with me asking those questions?" And most people will say yes. Like, "You here to help me? You came from somebody I know, like, and trust? Yes, ask away. I need help." Like, I think that's the difference too. Like, as investors, right? We're not just going to the person that, "Hey, they got a for sale sign with the realtor on it. Let's go and talk to those people." No, we're looking for people that are motivated. We're looking for people that they have to sell because something is happening. And it's your job to find out what the something that's happening so you can provide a solution for them.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. So step one in the whole process is going to be finding that motivated seller, right? They have some pain
Mm-hmm.
point, some problem. We're going to make an offer that solves that problem for them. Step
Mm-hmm.
two in the process is you're going to fund the deal with somebody else's money, right?
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're getting excited. Oh,
Secret
yeah.
sauce.
So, a lot of people, I know listeners right now have the limiting belief that that sounds wonderful. That's all fine and everything for Martine, and that's fine for Chad because they know all these people with tons of money, but I don't know the right people. And
Mm.
how do you recommend, or what are some tips for people to find lenders for their
Oh, I love it. I love it. So I'm going to tell you guys what you can do to start to find lenders. Okay.
business?
The best way to get your first lender, if you're just starting out, you don't know anybody, all your friends are broke, if you if you need to find a lender, the best way is to go to your local real estate investor meetups. Go to your local real estate investor meetups. Actually talk to people. Talk, not just listen to, "Well, I went, I listened to the presenter." I'm not asking you to do that. I don't even care if you listen to the presenter. I want you to go for the people that are there. And I want to challenge you to get at least 3 cards to someone that is already a lender or can potentially be a lender. So a lot of times you'll go to these real estate investor meetups and people raise their hand and they'll say, "Hey, I'm a lender," and stuff like that. Usually those are hard money lenders. Usually the people that are advertising that they're a lender is usually a hard money lender. But you can find that out on your own by getting their card, setting up a lunch, finding out more information. What I want to recommend that you do is find the people that are a little bit more seasoned in there. Like they've been a landlord for a long time. Um, it's a little bit difficult for you to know who exactly are the private money lenders because they don't typically raise their hand to say they're a lender. So I'm going to say for the people that say they're a lender, just get their card, talk to them a little bit, say, "I want to set up coffee, blah, blah, blah." And go after the landlords. Make sure that you get some information from the landlords. And that's not going to be enough. The secret sauce is you need to take these people out one on one to find out more information. So you need to go to lunch, you need to go to coffee. I don't know, go to the park. I don't care. Go somewhere. And you have to find out information. And for the people that are listening, I have something I would like to give away. I'm going to talk about it at the end, but I have a lender questionnaire that I use that so I can get no money down on the properties because a lot of people they have like their list of rules. "Oh, I need this, this, and that." That's great. But What you want is you want people that are going to serve what you're looking for. You don't have to work with someone just because they say that they're a lender or because maybe y'all don't, I don't know, have similar values or something like that. I want to recommend that you work with the people that you guys have similar values and you're on the same page. So, with the lender questionnaire, a lot of the things on there is like, would you consider funding a deal with 100% funding it if I was all in, meaning buying the property plus the repairs, 70% of what it's going to be worth fixed up? That's something you need to ask people because if they say, yeah, I do that, then maybe that's somebody that you consider working, doing business with. But if they're like, oh no, I need you to have skin in the game, then you can follow that question up with, well, if we did a deal, it went well, would you consider financing 100% the next deal? Because
Sure.
you want to get to the point where the people that you are working with are working the way that you want the deals to work. So I would recommend that you go to your meetups to start. As you get more seasoned and you see more deals being done because you've been doing more deals, you can start teaching people in your network how they can lend to you.
It's awesome. I like it. Okay, and what typically do you see in your market when you're working with a true private lender, not a hard money lender? What are the typical, interest rate terms of the loan? What is it you look for or the target you're after?
Right. So Martine's favorite in the real estate, excuse me, investing world, meaning that these people go to meetups, is probably 2 points and 10%. Like that's my favorite. I'm noticing that that's getting a little bit outdated. People want higher interest rates, go figure. And it seems like collectively they want it, they're wanting more. I would target that as you start teaching people how to lend to you because you know people can use their retirement accounts. There's different types of accounts they can use to start lending on your deals. I would target maybe between 8 and 10%. I wouldn't even mention points because I don't want to pay them. But if I have to get started, I'll do what I have to do.
Okay, and are these loans, the 2 points, 10%, are they short-term loans that you then refinance out and pay back? Are
Correct.
they okay.
Correct. So usually a typical loan term is 6 months to a year. Sometimes you'll get lenders that'll want to stay in the deal a little bit longer than that. Um, but the once you have completed your job, meaning you bought the property, you fixed it up to where it's in good enough condition for your tenant to move in, and then you refinance that property so that your lenders can get their money back. So like this, in my opinion, this is the secret sauce because a lot of people they think that okay, well I use the lender's money, how am I going to pay them back? I got to sell it. You don't have to sell it. If you go into this with the end in mind, you will work your numbers so that it makes sense that you can pay your lender off at the end of the deal. So,
Yeah.
meaning what I like to analyze not only ARV, after repair value, but also what does this loan look like once we rent it out? How much can we rent this place for? What is the loan that is going to replace the private lender's loan? What is that going to look like? Does that meet the requirements for me to be able to do that? So you just have to look at this, you know, with the end in mind. You can't go into this thinking, oh, I'll figure it out later. That's a recipe for a disaster. You need to know what you're getting into before you buy the property.
Awesome. And I think, too many people kind of struggle conceptually with, well, where's the money coming from and going from? And how do I
Mm-hmm.
not have any money, but I own this house? And if you just very simply think, okay, the money comes from your private lender first and goes to the
Mm-hmm.
seller. You have the house, right? Then you
Correct.
refinance, the bank lends the money, and at closing, that pays off your private lender. So now the money
Right.
comes from the bank, goes to the private lender. And if you
Right.
think, well, I still don't have any money to buy a house. You still don't, but the private lender has their money back now and they want to lend it, right? Because they've gotten a good
Mm-hmm.
return and you were good to work with. And so as long as they keep getting their money back, then they'll keep lending it to you and you always have access to the money. So that's
Right.
how the money kind of flows. You never actually hold it. It just keeps getting transferred by the title company between sellers and lenders. All right,
Right.
perfect. So for them to get, I love the list of questions so you can kind of get to know that lender. And one, it's,
Mm-hmm.
so you know who you'll work with best, but it's also, those are good questions for how can I best serve the lender, right? What exactly
Mm-hmm.
are they looking for? How do
Right.
I structure my deals to help them? Because as long as you're helping them, they'll lend you money.
Right.
So what's the best way for them to get your list of questions or lender questionnaire?
Right. So I'm going to talk about the lender questionnaire, but I just want to bring up a good point that I don't want people to miss. The first thing that you said is how can you serve the lender? If you go into this business and how can I serve the person I'm gonna buy the house from? How can I serve the lender? How can I serve my deal source community that are going to be sending me deals? You're going to do very well in this business because you are starting with the intention of adding value and helping people. So, if you want my lender questionnaire, I want you guys to text me the word lender. And my number is 804-495-1333. Just text me lender and I'll send it over to you.
Good deal. All right. I encourage everybody to do it. Martine has a lot of great insights, is super helpful, genuine, and has all the best intentions. So don't feel reluctant about getting her information and reaching out to her. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I feel like I could talk about this for hours and hours, and because we
Me
just speak the
too.
same language and almost like through the conversation get more and more excited and fired up. So,
Right.
but I appreciate you coming on and not only sharing your story, but sharing some actionable tips for all of the listeners.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And
thank
I
you.
want to encourage everybody that's listening, do it. Don't just
Do
talk
it.
about it, listen to it. It's nothing's gonna happen for you if you don't do it. Take action.
There we go. I love it. That's the note to end on. All right.
That's right.
So for people who want to follow you and see more of the deals that are going on, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way, I mean, you can follow me on Facebook. My name is Martine Richardson. You also can join my free buy and hold community. It's called The Freedom Inc. I ask you 4 questions and I'll let you into that. Yeah, those are probably the best ways to stay in touch with me.
Perfect. All right. Thank you again. Love the conversation, and we'll definitely be talking to you soon. For everybody listening, thanks for joining us. And until next week, keep building your dream life one door at a time. We'll see you then. I have a really good gift for you to help you out. So, in recent episodes, we've talked about some really great partnerships we have that will help any of you get motivated seller leads, right? So you'll get a text when they get the lead and they'll just give that lead to you. Or we have a direct mail partner who will help with direct mail to make sure you can reach the people that you want and get those leads contacting you. Okay, great services, don't cost any extra. Just make sure that your marketing is impactful and you get a return on your money. All right. So the gift isn't related to those. The gift is that some people are kind of nervous by the idea, those services are great, but now I get a seller on the phone and what do I do? What do I say? Right? And it's kind of intimidating. Everybody, when they get started, feels a little intimidated or nervous by it. And really, you just need a script so that you know what things to talk about with the seller on the phone. You don't have to think about it. You just follow the script, have a human conversation with the seller, take an interest in them, and follow the script. Just that easy. All right. And so the benefits of the script are you don't get distracted in the conversation. You can just follow the progression of that script, makes it super easy, can give you confidence so that you know what to say when, and it actually helps that seller know that you're professional and serious and you know what you're talking about. All right. So you can get that script at truewealthinvestors.com/call script, and that will give you the free download so you can have that script. Then when that seller calls, you know exactly what to say. All right. I hope that helps, and I know it will. See you soon. We are adding new episodes every week, so make sure to follow and subscribe. If you are a real estate investor or want to get started investing and you want to grow or scale with our help, go to truewealthinvestors.com. That's truewealthinvestors.com and schedule a short discovery call. I'll look at where your business is and offer a proven plan to get you and your business to the next level. We'll see you on the next episode.